In today class we will drive generalized equation for heat transfer. In previous classes we have also drive similar equation, but in that equations we made several assumptions. For example, in first instance we consider only heat transfer occur at steady state condition in one direction only. In our subsequent example, we have drive equation for unsteady state condition, which also involved some heat generation terms. But in those problems also we have considered heat transfer in one direction only. But these are generalized case in which we have not made any assumptions. And some other assumptions in previous class also include constant thermal conductivity, but here these are generalized equation without any assumptions. So we have discussed all three coordinate systems, that is Cartesian coordinate, cylindrical coordinate, and spherical coordinate. So we start by generalized heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate. So for example, you have a body having dimensions in x, y, and z. So in order to solve this equation, first of all you have to assume a control volume. So this one is our control volume and this one is magnified picture of this control volume. So the dimension of this control volume is delta x, delta y, and delta z. As you can see in this example, delta x, this one is delta y, and this one is delta z. Heat enter and exit at different phases are like, if we assume x direction, then rate of heat in is qx and rate of heat out is qx plus delta x. Similarly, for other direction, this one is qy and this one is qy plus delta y, and this qz and qz plus delta z. Now if this T is temperature at the left face, so this temperature may be assumed uniform over the entire surface, since the area of this face can be made arbitrarily small, and this dt by dx will be equal to temperature change and rate of change along x direction. So if this dt by dx is temperature change along x direction, or we can say this dt by dx is temperature gradient, and if we multiply this by the length along the x direction, length along the x direction is dx. For this control volume, this length is dx, this length is dx. So total temperature variation will be equal to the temperature gradient multiplied by total distance. So if this dt by del t by del x is temperature gradient, and if we multiply by total distance, then it will give you total change in temperature. So this del t by del x temperature gradient multiplied by total distance, so it will give you change of temperature through distance dx. Now if initial temperature is T and this is total change in temperature along length dx, then temperature at the exit phase will be equal to initial temperature plus total temperature change. So temperature at phase x plus delta x will be equal to T plus del T by del x into dx. Now again this kx, ky, and kz are thermal conductivity. If we are assuming directional characteristic of the material along x, y, and z direction, because there are some material which is called isotropic, which have, if the material characteristics of material are equal in all direction, then we call them isotropic, but if its property are changing along the direction, then we call them anisotropic material. because in this problem we have not made any assumptions, so we are also not assuming thermal conductivity is constant in all direction. So if the material is anisotropic, in that case the thermal conductivity will be equal to kx, ky and kz. But on the other hand, if material is isotropic, in that case this k will be constant along all direction. So in that case kx, ky and kz will be equal to simply k, that is thermal conductivity of the material. Now this Qg will be heat generation per unit volume per unit time, and this rho is density of the material and C is specific heat of the material. So if we apply energy balance on that control volume, then net heat, that is amount of heat enter into the control volume minus amount of heat come out from the control volume plus heat generation within the element will be equal to energy store in the element. So this is our overall energy balance. Now this Q is rate of heat flow in a direction, that may be x, y or z, any direction. So this Q is rate of heat flow. But if we multiply this rate by total time, if dq is total time, then it will give you total heat flow in that direction in time dq, because the unit of rate is joule per second. So if we multiply by time, then this second time term will be cancelled out and we will get total amount of heat transfer in that particular time period. So this q is rate of heat flow and this q dash is total amount of heat flow in that particular time period. Now net heat flow in x direction will be if we consider rate of heat in the control volume, then this q will be equal to by using Fourier law of heat conduction, that is q equal to ka dt by dx. So area will be equal to as we see this diagram again. So energy is entering through this phase and leaving through this phase. So total area will be equal to its length into width. So its height is dy and this area is dz. So this surface area will be equal to dy into dz. This surface area will be same for at the entrance and exit. So this is total area. So this k into a means dy into dz into temperature gradient, that is del T by del X. So this will give you heat transfer rate, but if you multiply it by total time, then it will give you total amount of heat transfer. So here they are multiplying by d tau, that is time. So it will give you total amount of heat transfer through entrance phase during time dq. Similarly, rate of heat, total amount of heat flowing out of the right phase of control volume, that will be equal to this amount of heat in plus again this del q x by del x will give you rate of means heat gradient, and if we multiply it by total distance, that is dx, then it will give you total amount of heat change as we move from entrance to exit point. So this q at exit will be equal to q at initial point plus total change along the length, similar to the temperature that profile which we have explained in our previous slides. Now net heat in x direction will be heat in the x direction minus heat out in the x direction. So this one is heat in the control volume, this one is heat out from the control volume. So net heat will be difference of these two quantities, that is heat in minus heat out. So this qx will be cancelled out and we will left with this one. Now if we want to uh, calculate temperature of the body, then we can replace this q by some temperature terms, and that can be done with the help of Fourier law of heat conduction. The Fourier law of heat conduction state that q equal to minus ka dt by dx into d tau. So if we replace this qx with the help of Fourier law of heat conduction, that we also written in this previous slide, that is this one. So if we replace this qx using this expression, so our equation will become in this form, which again further rearrangement can be written in this form. So this is net heat flow in x direction. Similarly, we can calculate net heat flow in y and z direction. So similar to this equation, we have derived equation for y direction and z direction. Now in order to calculate net heat from all coordinate direction, so we have to add these three equations. This is net heat in x direction and y direction and z direction. So for all three coordinate system, we have to add these three equations, and this will give you net heat flow from all three coordinate system. Here dx, dy, dz and d tau is a common term, so we can take out from the bracket, and finally we can write this equation in this form. And the remaining two terms are heat generation and heat store. So heat generation again will be equal to qg into volume into d tau, because this qg is heat generation, that I think I explained in my previous slide, that is here. As you can see, this qg is heat generated per unit volume per unit time. So to make unit uniform for all quantity, you have to multiply this equation by volume and time. So in that case, it will give you total heat generated during time dt. So if we multiply this qg by volume, volume is dx, dy and dz, and time is d tau. So this equation will be this one. So heat generation will be equal to qg multiplied by volume into d tau. Similarly, energy stored in the element, this rho into v is dx, dy, dz, c is specific heat, this del t by del tau into total time. Now we have derived all required quantities. So if we put all these value in our overall heat balance equation, so we will get this equation. Now divide this equation by dx, dy, dz and d tau, then we get this equation. So this is our final equation, which can further be written in this form, in del form. So this entire term can be written as this del operator, del of k del t plus g qg equal to rho c del t by del tau. So this is known as general heat conduction equation for non-homogeneous material self heat generating and unsteady state three-dimensional heat flow. But if for special case, if this thermal conductivity is constant, so in that case here we use thermal conductivity is varying along all three direction, and we use kx, ky and kz. But if we assume this material is isotropic and there are no directional change of thermal conductivity, so in that case kx will be equal to ky equal to kz equal to k, and we can replace this equation by in this form. Here this uh, alpha is called thermal diffusivity, which is equal to k upon rho c. So that is equal to thermal conductivity by thermal capacity. This k upon rho c is known as thermal diffusivity. So this is our generalized equation for heat conduction for Cartesian coordinate. Similarly, we can derive equation for cylindrical and spherical coordinate. So let's start by cylindrical coordinate. Again, we have a cylindrical body in which heat is transferring. So again, we have to assume a control volume, and this one is magnified picture of the control volume. Its dimension is, let's say its thickness is dr, the total radius is r, but the thickness of this control volume is dr, its height is dz, and this area will be equal to, if d pi is the angle and r is radius up to this point, so if we multiply r by its angle, so it will give you this distance, this arc will be r into the angle, radius into angle, it will give you this value. So this distance is r d pi. Now this radius is r and its thickness is dr. So in at this point this length will be equal to r plus dr, and that is total radius multiply by total multiply by this angle d phi. So this length will be equal to r plus dr into d pi, but r is very large as compared to dr. Dr is very small value, negligible value as compared to r. So we can say this area will also be equal to r into d pi. So this again is like a cuboid having dimensions dr, dz and r d pi. So its volume will be equal to r d pi into dr into dz. Again this Qg is heat generation per unit volume per unit time. So total heat generation will be equal to Qg multiplied by volume of this control volume and the time taken for that particular heat transfer. Uh, Again this K is thermal conductivity, rho is density, C is specific heat, and we assume they are not changing because our assumed material is isotropic. So if we apply energy balance in all three phases, so let's consider, first of all we consider x5 phase. So in that case Q will be equal to K into area. So if we assume x5 phase, so in that case area will be equal to this, and this area means this area. So in that case its length is r d pi and height is dz. So this area will be equal to r d pi into dz. Here you can see r d pi into dz. dt upon dr multiply by total time. So it will give you total amount of heat transfer at that particular time. Similarly, this one is heat efflux, means heat uh, out rate of means total amount of heat out from the end phase, that is from this phase. So this is heat influx, that is heat efflux. The net heat flow will be equal to difference of these two quantity in minus out. So this dqr will be equal to qr minus qr plus dr. This if we put these two value, then this qr will be cancelled out and we will left with this value. Again, if we replace this qr from this equation, then this equation can be written in this form, which can be, after further simplification, we can write finally in this form. Similarly, we can write heat balance for other two phases. So this one is in RZ phases. This is heat influx, outflux. Net flux will be difference between these two quantities, and in that equation we put value of q phi, and we get this equation, and finally this equation. Again, we can write heat balance on our last phases, and these are two equation for heat in and out, and this one is net heat. So in that way we have calculated heat net heat flow in all three phases. So overall heat balance, that is heat in minus out from all three coordinate direction, will be summation of these three equations. So this one is final equations. Now this one is heat generation, similar to previous slides. This qg multiply by volume into total time, and this is energy stored in the element. Now we can put all these value, that is this first equation, second equation, and this one is third equation in overall energy balance equation. So overall balance energy balance was net heat in minus out plus heat generated with the in the element will be equal to energy stored in the direction in the element. So after putting all three equation, we finally get this equation, which on further simplification can be written as this is only putting value of about three equation is this one. So if we divide this equation by dr r d pi dz d phi, then finally we get this equation, or that can be written final in terms of thermal diffusivity, this one. So this is our final equation, and this is called general heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinate. Similarly, we can derive equation for spherical coordinate. Again, if we have a spherical body, again we have to assume a control volume. So this is magnified image of control volume. Its dimension is r d phi dr and r sine theta d pi. So its volume will be equal to multiplication of all three dimensions. Um, so dr r d theta into r sine theta d pi. Again, this qg is heat generated per unit volume per unit time. So total amount of heat generated will be equal to qg multiplied by its volume and time, that is d tau. K is thermal conductivity, rho is density, C is specific heat. They are not varying with position. So again we have to apply energy balance on all three phases. So this is heat influx and efflux, and this one is net heat flow in this phi direction. So if we subtract these two equations, finally we get this equation. Now again you have to replace this q phi with the help of this equation, and the equation will be this one, which after further simplification can be written in this form. Similarly, we can write energy balance for remaining two phases, that one in theta direction, that is heat influx, heat efflux, that is, one is net heat flow in theta direction, that is difference of these two values. In this equation, replace this qx with the help of this equation, and you can write replacing this value, and finally you get this equation, which on further simplification can be written in this form. So in that way you have derived equation in all three directions. Now okay, third direction. So this one is in third direction. Again heat influx, efflux, net quantity, then replacing this qr, and finally you get this equation. Now net heat in minus out from all the coordinate direction will be this one, the summation of three equation, first equation and the remaining two equations derived in previous slides. So this one is net heat in minus out from all three coordinate direction. Again this one is heat generated, and this one is energy stored in the element. Now put all these value in net energy balance equation, that is net in heat in minus out plus heat generated with the in the element will be equal to heat stored in the element, and you after replacing above equation, after putting above equation in this overall energy balance equation, you will get this equation. Now again you have to divide this equation by k dr r d theta r sin theta d phi d tau, and finally you get this equation. So this is called general heat conduction equation in spherical coordinate. So this is end of today class. So in this class we have derived generalized heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate, then cylindrical coordinate, and finally for spherical coordinate. So thank you